This video is the 22nd part in my project to recreate Kings Island in Parkitect. In this video, I focus my attention on recreating the Coney Mall area of the park. This includes rides, buildings, restaurants, shops, basically everything except for roller coasters. The roller coasters like Racer, Flight of Fear, and Orion will all come in later videos. As you can see right here, I just finished recreating the Coca-Cola marketplace that's in between Adventure Port and Coney Mall. This building's just home to a couple Coke Freestyle machines. The Coca-Cola marketplace just sells soft drinks and nothing else, so it's not too special. This building is the Coney Confections building. This is basically just a candy shop inside Coney Mall. They sell things like popcorn, cotton candy, ices, candy, and soda. There's nothing too special about this shop, but it is the best place to find sweets in Coney Mall. Next are the bathrooms right outside of Coney Mall. These are the bathrooms for Adventure Port and Upper Coney Mall. Once again, nothing too special about them, they're just restrooms. The next building is the Coney Barbecue Restaurant. In my opinion, this is one of the best restaurants at Kings Island. Not only does it have some great food, but it also fits in the area really well. It has a beautiful exterior, and it fits in Coney Mall perfectly. This restaurant opened at Kings Island in 2018, and their menu consists of rotisserie chicken, pulled pork sandwich, smoked sausage, St. Louis style ribs, smoked sirloin, vegan smoked sausage, barbecue baked beans, grilled corn on the cob, macaroni and cheese, fries, collard greens, hush puppies, coleslaw, and garden salad. In my opinion, that's a pretty impressive menu for an amusement park. I think most of Coney Mall is pretty dated at this point, but this restaurant was a breath of fresh air and is one of the star attractions of Coney Mall. Before we get too far into this video, I'd like to give a thanks to all my supporters on Patreon. This video took me close to 8 hours to make, and when I'm not making videos, I'm out working to pay for amusement park trips. So not only does your support mean a lot to me, but it also helps me make more videos by giving me time to do so, and it helps me pay for amusement park trips, video equipment, and editing software. Now, I'm going to make videos regardless of Patreon support, but Patreon funds are just going to allow me to make more videos and higher quality videos. Nothing else is going to change. This week on Patreon, I have one patron, Coaster Dave. Thank you so much for your support, it means a lot. Now back to the video. If you'd like to become a supporter on Patreon, there's a link in the description of this video. And the first ride I'll be creating in this video is Dodge 'em. First, before I create the ride itself, I'm creating the ride building, and then afterwards I'm putting the ride inside the ride building. The first time I created the ride building, it was a little too small, so I removed some of the roofs and recreated it a little bit bigger. Dodge 'em originally opened at Coney Island in 1924. It was moved to Kings Island and opened at Kings Island in 1972, and then it was moved to a different building at Kings Island and reopened in that building in 1986. The ride was manufactured by the company Preston and Barberi, and in 2020 the ride received a fresh coat of paint on the exterior building and a brand new sign. This is actually one of 2 bumper car rides at Kings Island. The other is located in Planet Snoopy and is called Joe Cool's Dodge 'em School. The next building I'm recreating is Skyline Chili. There used to be 2 Skyline Chili locations at Kings Island, but the one in International Street got removed this year. So now, the location in Coney Mall is the only Skyline Chili location left at Kings Island. In general, this is a pretty simple building, and there's not too much special about it. If you're from Ohio, you've gotta love Skyline Chili though. Their hot dogs are great. The second ride recreation of this video is Scrambler. Scrambler opened in 1969 at Coney Island, and later reopened in 1972 at Kings Island. The ride was manufactured by the Eli Bridge Company, and the ride recently got a new color scheme in the year 2020. The ride used to be yellow, green, and purple, but now it's just entirely blue. This building is the Coney Treats building. It's basically just a Coca-Cola refresh station. It also sells cotton candy and popcorn though, but other than that there's not too much special about it. Right next to it is a basketball-style midway game, which I'm recreating right now. It's one of those games where you pay to shoot a basketball, and if you make it, you win a prize. The next building I'm recreating is the Jukebox Diner. The Jukebox Diner opened at Kings Island in 1975 as the Brass Ring, a carousel-themed food stand. In 1986, it was overhauled as the Coney Cafe, and from 1994 to 2004, under Paramount ownership, it was updated to Preston T. Tucker's Roadside Cafe, based on the movie Tucker, the Man in His Dream. The building was remodeled to the Happy Days Diner in 2005, and then in 2008, it was rethemed to the Jukebox Diner we all know and love. This restaurant serves basic theme park food like cheeseburgers, hot dogs, chicken tenders, chicken sandwiches, and Coca-Cola drinks. But unlike most other amusement park restaurants, this building looks wonderful. It's very well themed and it fits into the area really well. If you ever stop by Jukebox Diner, I highly recommend getting one of their milkshakes. Now once again, if you see my screen go black, or you see my screen freeze for a couple seconds, that's just me switching to Google Earth on my other monitor. I'm using Google Earth in this project to get measurements for paths, buildings, and rides. Using measurements from Google Earth allows this project to be much more accurate to its real-life counterpart, but when I'm in Google Earth there's obviously nothing happening on my Parkitect screen. I tried to only get measurements and look at Google Earth when I wasn't recording, but there's still a few instances where I was recording and I had to switch monitors. So please just ignore that. The next ride recreation in this video is Shake, Rattle, and Roll. Shake, Rattle, and Roll was manufactured by Huss and is a Troika ride model, more commonly known as the Huss Troika. This ride opened in 1975 and originally had the colors light blue, light green, and yellow, until in 2015, during the Halloween haunt season, the ride was renovated and now sports its red color scheme. Right now, I'm just recreating some of the extra paths around Coney Mall that I forgot to recreate the first time I created these paths. These are just some shortcuts that lead behind Skyline Chili, behind Scrambler, and one leads to a covered picnic area. This building is the covered picnic area behind Coney Mall. Once again, there's not too much special about it, it's just a picnic area. The next building I'm recreating is the Kings Island Subway building. I know I just called it the Kings Island Subway building, but this year, Kings Island cut ties with Subway, so right now this is just an empty building. It was most recently the Kings Island Subway building, so that's what I'm gonna call it. Prior to being a Subway building, this building used to be the Sweet Tooth, which was basically just an ice cream stand. They serve soft serve cones, soft serve sundaes, and cotton candy. But once again in 2023, it's just an empty building. The next ride recreation of this video is Monster. Monster opened at Coney Island in 1969 and opened at Kings Island in 1972 with the park. This ride was manufactured by the Irely Aircraft Company, and the ride model is Irely Monster. The next building I'm recreating is the Coney Mall Arcade. This building has an arcade on the interior, and there's Midway games located all along the exterior of the building. This is a nice air-conditioned building inside Kings Island. It's really good to escape the heat, but I haven't been inside it for a couple of years, so I can't really say too much about it. You've definitely passed by all the Midway games while you head to Area 72 though. Just a reminder, feel free to use any of the rides you see in these videos in your own park in Parkitect. There's a link to my page on the Steam Workshop in the description of this video, and all the rides you see in these videos are available for download for free. Right here, I'm just recreating the path leading into Area 72, so I have a landmark to reference while I recreate Zephyr, and I'm also recreating the ride operator booth for Monster. The next ride I'm recreating is Zephyr. Zephyr opened at Kings Island in 1986. It was manufactured by Zier, and the ride model is Wave Swinger. This is one of 3 swing-style rides at Kings Island, the others being Charlie Brown's Wind Up and Windseeker, but Windseeker is of course much higher. The next building I'm recreating is the Killmart Halloween Haunted Maze Walkthrough attraction. This haunted house is housed in a former arcade building in Coney Mall. and it's essentially themed to a shopping center that's overrun by zombies, thus the Killmart name. Now the exterior of this building actually got repainted this year in 2023, so now the exterior looks really nice, but makes me wonder if they're going to reuse it this year for Halloween Haunt. The next and final ride recreation in this video is Windseeker. Windseeker opened at Kings Island in 2011. It was manufactured by Mondial and is a Windseeker ride model. It stands 301 feet tall with a top speed of 30 miles per hour. Now Parkitect, the game I'm recreating this in, doesn't have a Windseeker ride model, so I'm using a Wave Swinger ride model with extra scenery to make it look like a Windseeker. Now I'm just adding some curbs and fences along the paths to make this area look more like its real life counterpart. The next buildings I'm recreating are midway game booths, and I'm also adding some finishing touches like areas with benches and umbrellas, as well as a couple trees along the paths. This part of the project specifically has taken me the longest to record just because there are so many buildings and so many rides. I spent 2 hours exclusively building while recording. That doesn't account for all the time I spent in Google Earth measuring things, looking at pictures, and stuff like that. So this probably took me closer to 4 or 5 hours. I'm pretty pleased with the finished product though, so I'd say it's worth it. And of course, I hope you enjoyed watching it being made. The video isn't quite over yet though, stay tuned to see all the rides in action. And here's a look at the finished product of the Coney Mall area of the park. Of course it still needs the Racer roller coaster and the Antique Autos ride, but for now all the shops and most of the rides are finished, and I think it turned out pretty well. Well, that's all for this part of the project. If you'd like to watch more parts, there's a link to the playlist in the description of this video. Like always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.